This changes everything for the San Diego Padres. The MLB draft is here, and the farm system has received help in every category needed. AJ Preller and company did not mess this one up. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen here with another episode of Padres Digest. Welcome back to the show where I, just a random dude on the internet, whine, opine, and over and under react about all things Padres. If you could hit the subscribe button, it would be great. If not, no worries. I will always be here to rant about all things Padres. This video, talking about the MLB draft, where hope springs eternal for all squads, unless you are a Washington Nationals fan, and reading the comments there about that draft choice that they made. But hey, we're here to talk about the Padres and all the good news of, I want to teach you some new names because maybe you learn them when they make it to the Padres major league level. Maybe you learn them when we trade them away for other things. Maybe you learn them just because you are a diehard Tin Caps fan and you live in Fort Wayne and these guys are headed to come play for you. But the first of all these names that we got to talk about is this guy right here, Cruz Schoolcraft. Dope name. I judging a book by a cover, if I told you I got a guy, I got a kid, I got an 18-year-old prospect, Kruz Schoolcraft, you're in. You said, yes, that is a random creative player from MLB The Show, but I'm in. I love it. All right, going into the draft, I discussed it a little bit because it's just like, sometimes I need stuff to discuss about, and it's hard for me to do when the Padres are drafting as low and as little as they were. Like, mock drafts are great for the first 10 picks, not necessarily into the 20s and 30s and 100s. So we talked a little bit about it. Padres were linked to some shortstops because everyone wants a shortstop. You can put them wherever. But I personally, I want pitching. And again, whether or not it ends up being pitching that translates into major league talent, pitching is to me is you need all the arms you can get because it produces one of two things: trade opportunities or actual major league talent. You don't need a ton of left fielders. I guess the Padres need a left fielder. That's a bad position to make it, but you get what I'm saying. So Kruz Schoolcraft is the Padres' first-round draft pick. Let's read up on him. You see there, he's a lefty pitcher. He's enormous. 6'8", 230. So I guess maybe he's a little bit of a string bean for his vertical size, but here's the breakdown. I'll give you a second to read through that if you want. I know there's a lot of text for some small screens, but a lot to get to here. The numbers at the top, the fastball, slider, changeup, control, overall, everything there being above a 50 is a great sign. This kid is not a huge project. This is not somebody that the Padres are like, oh my gosh, like we're drafting Johnny Manziel, haha, look, aren't we cheeky? This kid's a good player. He is a top two-way player. He's a good first baseman as well, but projected out to be more desirable as a lefty, hard-throwing pitcher. Whether that translates into starting a reliever, not going to get into those levels of projection, but I think it's interesting. Was slated to be part of next year's high school class, so moves up a year. Plays really well in the area code games. There was more college pitching than pro pitching taken in this year's draft, but I like young arms for where the Padres are at right now in terms of in the low 20s of that first round draft of the draft. There was not a Paul Skeens. There was not anybody that translates into an immediate, this guy is in our rotation by the end of next season or the end of this season or the beginning of next season. So to me, a high school pitcher, lefty, big guy, no history of, has not been sidelined with arm injuries, is a great choice, and I applaud them immensely. And you can drop a comment on all of this. Let me know as we go, as always, if you agree or disagree with this. But I think that adding this guy right here, Mr. Kruz Schoolcraft, is a game changer for the Padres in that what have we been mostly addressing this year? The need to go acquire a left fielder, a catcher. What do we do with Cease, Darvish, King? But in all of those discussions, they are clouded in, we don't have a ton of trade pieces. We don't have a ton of ammo to go out and say, okay, here's a minor upgrade in exchange for medium pieces. We have LDV and Salas, a top international prospect and a great catcher. And then it's a pretty steep drop-off after that. And internally, we can all like our guys. We can all say that this guy, that guy, or the other is all going to pan out. But the general consensus from MLB is that the Padres are a pretty depleted, dilapidated, and bottom tier farm system in terms of like gems and huge talent. Looking at the major league roster for the Padres, there are several shortstops that have been moved to other positions. So saying that Leo DeVries, our minor league shortstop phenom, is going to be a shortstop, we don't need to do, like, we can obviously very clearly plug him in at any position. Look at Merrill and Tatis. Like, it would almost be fitting to move DeVries to left in that outfield eventually so that we have 3 former shortstops playing outfield. Like, so check that box. Salas can be our catch. So we have a plug in at both of the major league positions. So to me, why not then go get pitching? And I keep beating the same drum here of it doesn't need to be pitching that is going to translate immediately. We can leave Cruz in the minors for 2 years to go have some great seasons and improve his stock so that we can then, when we do deal Xander or something like that, we have it's just 10 out of 10, regardless of this kid's stuff, to get pitching and commit to pitching. 2 of our top 3 picks were pitching, and the day 2 of the draft is still going on. And the new format of the draft does make it more important to look at all the pieces because there aren't 30-plus rounds where it's just like, oh, my God, we got this guy in the 27th round. Maybe he does. Maybe we'll throw him down there for 10 years. The truncated shortened round, all of the picks are important, but those first couple to me are the really big ones where it signals the health and direction of the future of the franchise, at least I'm saying in terms of your minor league feasibility to use it to get major league pieces. So then looking at the other pieces, the second pick for the Padres in the 3rd round is Ryan Weidman, and I just got done saying that we need to get as much pitching as possible, but they take an outfielder, and that's okay. I am not here. I'm giving A+ on all of the draft grades so far for the Padres this year. Weidman, again, drop comments on all of this. His dad was in the NBA, so he comes from decent, physical stock, like he knows the pro athlete thing. He is a 21-year-old right-handed outfielder, again, big, 6'5", 204, and somebody that I think he's an outfielder naturally can be left out in the outfield to develop his hitting and focus on that. And what do I mean by develop his hitting and focus on that? Like, he should also still be developing his defensive skills, but we're talking about like DeVries being a guy that we can plug and play him anywhere. That means that he has to be holistically still a 5-tool guy. We can take Weidman, leave him in the outfield, let him just be like, look, at most, if you come up to the majors, you're going to be our left field guy. So just keep doing what you're doing and focus on improving your hitting tools. Spend all of your minor league efforts on focus on improving your hitting tools. And again, I like him. I think it's a plus. At 21, he's not somebody that we need to rush, but I would put him on that shorter time frame of next couple of years. We need to make a decision on him, or he turns into Trenton Brooks and he's 29 getting his first cup of coffee. One of those two things. Or maybe not this, we don't, I will admit I'm just a dude on the internet and I don't for sure know on any of this, but again, I like it. I love number 1. I like number 2. I love draft pick number 3, and that is a guy named Michael Salina. It is another pitcher the Padres are taking. This one is a right-handed guy. This one is a college guy. I think sandwiching pitchers, I would have taken all pitchers if it was me, but it wasn't me, and I'm not bashing Weidman. I think he could still turn into a great, serviceable MLB pro, but I like accumulating all pitching. Michael Salina, like I said, he goes to the college ranks, plays 3 years there, ends up throwing really well. Look, the guy, and at draft pick number 3, we don't necessarily need to dive into he's got the slider that's going to be the perfect 2-out or 2-strike pick. Okay. I don't need to lie to you and say that all of these guys are going to turn out to be pro picks and be perfect. Like Salina's pick number 210 in the draft. These guys were taken. The Padres don't have a ton of great draft picks this year, but so far through day 1, through the first 3 picks, Padres pick up 2 pitchers and an outfielder. I think that the 2 pitchers are the perfect decision because you can never have enough pitching, and I like one's a righty, one's a lefty. The lefty is a high school kid, so maybe a little bit more of a project, a little bit more of a timeline. Obviously, we're talking about Schoolcraft being hailed as an offensive and a pitching prospect, so give that guy a little bit more wiggle room. Give Selena 2 years to make his way into the bullpen as Adam or Suarez or other guys start to phase out. He slots in there. Look, that's what I'm saying. This is awesome. We don't need to create a bottleneck. We don't need to get a million shortstops and all let them figure it out, because at that major league level, we do have Nando, Manny, Xander, let me know on Xander, Merrill, Cronenworth. Like, we have a lot of the positions hypothetically locked up, and you can always trade in dish dues, but we have hypothetically our core group locked up for a while. Add into that, I think Arraez should be re-signed, and Sheets. Let's give Sheets 3 years, $6 million. Let him play left, and then we'll bring someone else up to like fully fit into that job. We don't have a ton of spots. So if you're drafting position players galore, it is with the most likely singular intention of trading them. I like the pitching ones because win or lose, we get a net plus out of it. Let me know, though, what you think. Day 2 of the draft is still going on right now, so I will have more reactions to all of that. But for now, like I said, this changes everything in a net positive for the San Diego Padres. They are doing great at the draft, and I think they're doing great in general. We did lose that last game to the Phillies, but I think things are going to, like, the momentum and the vibes and everything seem to be picking up excellently. We will have tons of content, though, all the rest of the season, win, lose, or draw. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll talk to you guys next time.